occupied a very special place in the imagination of generations of children. It's a toy, powered by your own thoughts, observations, and imagination. It's capable of telling many stories and going on a variety of adventures, all depending on where the player decides to take it. But where did the toy theater come from, you may ask, or what's its story? Well, it all began in the early 19th century. As Great Britain was experiencing a major industrial boom, a clear middle and working class were beginning to form. These workers were looking for any form of cheap entertainment that they could find, and that entertainment often came in the form of theater. Publishers capitalized on the popularity of theater by creating inexpensive juvenile theaters for children. Artists would attend shows and make sketches of the actors, costumes, backdrops, and props. The publisher could have character sheets and backdrops ready for sale as early as 4 days after the opening night of a play. Characters were cut out from a sheet of paper and then pasted onto a piece of cardboard. These pieces of cardboard were then decorated using pieces of fabric or tinsel. Characters and scene pieces were adaptable, as they could be moved by the use of metal wires or slides. Publishers also sold special effects separately. Special effects included gunpowder for explosions, colored chemicals for lighting effects, and music boxes to accompany the play. Toy theater gave children an active role in the sphere of performance. Kids had to expend a lot of time and effort in order to create a show. They also had to learn how to cooperate and compromise in order to achieve their shared mission. So while there's always been a desire to visualize and enact stories, the toy theater is one of the first modern mediums to put the art of storytelling in the hands of children. So now, on to the fun stuff. You all have had the pleasure of hearing me talk about the importance of theater and storytelling, but now it's time for me to show you where the magic is, the true parlor performance. Before I begin, I'll actually need 2 volunteers. One of you will actually be reading for the bear. The only the bear does is the bear roar, so I need someone who can give me a really loud vocal roar. Who can do that? You think you can be really, really loud? All right. And then are you his parent by any chance? Or? All right. Will you be able to read along with him just so he knows when to roar? All right. And you can go and sit right there and stay with your mom. All right. And then the other one is going to be just manning the music box. I'll just be rolling. You want to do it? All right. So the same thing goes for you. You'll just read along, and whenever I have a scene change, it'll be highlighted too. And then that's when you'll start playing the music box. Okay. All right. Thank you. And then from everyone else, what I'll need you all to do is there'll be moments in the play where I'll need some audience interaction. I might need you to cheer, like as a crowd, or maybe sigh as a crowd, or make sounds of nature, like birds chirping, or the wind rustling the branches or something. So let me go ahead and let's hear it from you for a little bit. Let me hear a crowd cheering. What's that sound like? Right. What about a crowd sighing in disappointment? Okay, so now for some nature noises. Branches rustling in the wind. A river roaring in the distance. All right, I think all of you kind of got the picture. So without further ado, let me present to you the story of The Princess and the Bear. Long ago, in a kingdom far, far away, there lived a princess by the name of Leela. Leela was a kind and gentle ruler who loved all of her subjects. Whether it be the birds in the trees or the people walking the streets, I adore them all the same. I believe that all my people deserve love and respect. Leela was the image of kindness and graciousness, unlike her brother, Akila. I am the crown prince for a reason, and I believe that I am destined for greatness. Why waste my time talking to the townspeople, let alone venturing outside the castle? One day, after being stuck in the castle all day, Leela decided to venture out into the forest. Being in the castle all day is so tiresome. I'm going to spend some time with my subjects in the forest. If only my brother would stop worrying about me and come to his senses. Leela, why do you always venture outside the castle? Don't you know that you are better off here where you are surrounded by your people? The birds and the bugs and all the beings of this kingdom are my people. Leela exited the castle, leaving her dumbfounded brother shaking his head. Having ventured into the forest many a time, Leela knew the forest quite well. The woods are so familiar and comforting. Where should I go first? Should I visit the friendly fruit bats in their cave? Or should I go and sing with the twittering birds? I know what I'll do. I'll go to my favorite spot, next to a patch of budding flowers and a gentle stream. From here, I can hear all the sounds of the forest. I can hear the river roaring in the distance. I can hear the branches rustling in the wind. But what's that unfamiliar noise? Is that the sound of someone crying? Oh, what a sad and sorrowful sound. I must go find the poor creature that is making such a noise. I'll follow the cries until I find the creature. Leela walked deeper into the forest, following the source of the sound. As she walked, she could hear the moans and cries getting louder and louder. When the cries sounded as if they were only meters away, Leela stopped. She found herself in the middle of the clearing. In the clearing was a small table with a set of teacups and a teapot on top. And there, sitting at the table, was a big, frightened bear. Oh dear, that is one massive bear. He must be crying out of hunger. I have to run away before I get eaten. But wait a minute. Why does the bear sound so sad? Why is there no one else at his tea party? Is the poor bear lonely? Oh no, I can't take it anymore. I have to do something. And so Leela approached the bear. Hello, bear. How are you? The bear abruptly stopped crying. He sat still and stared at Leela. Slowly, the bear began to stand. Oh dear, please don't eat me. I only want to see if you're okay. But then the bear did something unexpected. He began prancing around the clearing, roaring gleefully. This went on for a few minutes until finally the bear settled down on the ground next to Leela. Oh, bear, how I misjudged you. You never wanted to hurt me, you just wanted a friend. You must be horribly lonely in this part of the woods with no other bears around. I know what I'll do. I'll take you home to my castle so that you'll never feel sad or lonely again. Does that sound nice? I'll take that as a yes. Leela led the bear back home to her castle beyond the woods. As Leela walked through the castle town, she noted the fearful and weary glances she received from the townsfolk, but she paid them no heed. You're going to take some getting used to, but I know that they'll soon adore you just as much as I do. And look, we are now here at the castle. Please wait here while I try and explain the situation to my brother. Leela? Just what on earth do you think you're doing? I'm bringing this bear into the castle. He's so lonely, it is our duty to give him our friendship. Don't be stupid, Leela. It's a bear. He is sure to cause harm. Akila, how could you say such a thing? You don't know him, you just met him. Oh, I don't need to know him to know how he'll behave. Here, let me show you. Let him in. The bear leapt over Leela and began excitedly dancing around the castle foyer, much to Leela's horror. See what you've allowed to happen? You see what he has done? He has dirtied our palace floor, and he's ripped apart our furniture. He has destroyed everything, and he hasn't even been here for more than 10 minutes. It'll take him some time to adjust. He is from the wild after all. Exactly. He is from the wild, and he belongs in the wild. He doesn't appreciate your kindness. Leave the dirty creatures where they belong. You are far too impatient with him, Akila. I admit that he's a bit unruly right now, but I know just how to fix this. I'll give him lessons on how to behave, and he'll be just as orderly as one of us. Leela decided that she would begin with the basics. I'm going to teach you how to bathe, so that your dirty paws will be soft and clean. I'll teach you to keep roaring down to a polite and acceptable level. I'll even teach you proper royal etiquette. You'll behave like a true member of the royal court in no time at all. And she was right. Soon enough, the bear was behaving like a true royal. He bowed in the presence of royal officials. He greeted royal guests with a firm paw shake. He drank his tea with his pinky paw out. He waited until someone was done speaking before he gave his delicate, roaring opinion on the subject. You were doing so well, Bear. You were clearly acclimated to the royal life. If only my brother would stop sulking. You've made so much progress. I can't wait to introduce you to the rest of the kingdom. In fact, I've scheduled a royal ceremony for tomorrow just to formally announce your presence to the kingdom. Just because the bear's learned a few tricks doesn't mean he is one of us. He is, and always will be, an outsider. I guess I'll let the kingdom decide that. That evening, Leela sent her royal guards out to deliver the message to the townspeople. The townspeople were apprehensive about a bear being at the ball, but they all decided to accept the invitation as a sign of respect to the princess. Before anyone knew it, the day of the ball was at hand. Oh, now don't you fret. The people will love you just as I do. Just then, there was a knock at the door. Oh, the guests are finally arriving. We're going to do so well, Bear. I just know it. One by one, the guests entered the castle. The bear greeted each of them with a signature paw shake and an enthusiastic grumble. They even began to play the piano and dance the royal waltz. Leela was beaming with joy. See? What did I tell you? I knew that they would adore you. Everyone knows that you are going to be a wonderful addition to this kingdom. Don't you all agree? Yeah! This night is going along swimmingly. No! The bear is still a creature of the wild. He has no manners or common decency. Tequila, can't you just accept him? He has done nothing wrong. Done nothing wrong? Oh, but he has. Just look, Leela. Look at what he's done. The crowd gasps in shock as Tequila presents a torn-up royal tapestry. Do you see what you've brought into the house? Do you see what he has done? He destroys our home and you throw him a ball? I say no more. Say it with me, crowd. Out with the bear! Out with the bear! Out with the bear! Out with the bear! There must be some kind of mistake. The bear knows better now. Out with the bear! Out with the bear! I don't want out with the bear. The bear's... Just then, the bear finally had enough and ran out of the castle, tears streaming down his snout as he wept in grief, leaving behind a sad and distraught Leela. The next few days were a bit of a blur for Leela. She was so full of sadness that she refused to come out of her room. I refused to leave my room and talk to those mean people. How could they be so unkind? The poor bear must be feeling so lonely. This went on for a few days. Eventually, Akila decided to intervene. Leela, please come out of your room and eat breakfast with the rest of the royal court. They are worried about you. No. I don't have the energy to face those people after they turn their backs on the bear for making one small mistake. It's not fair to blame them for this. They didn't do anything wrong. They were cruel and unjust, but they aren't the ones at fault. I am. Why do you say such a thing? Because I was the one who tore apart the tapestry. What? I was angry that everyone was accepting the bear, so I framed him to get him sent away. But why would you do such a thing? I don't know. I thought I was doing the right thing, but now I can see that I've caused you so much sadness. I've decided that I'm going to go out into the forest and find the bear. I promise to bring him back, and all will be well again. And with that, Akila set out of the castle and into the forest. Akila had never been in the forest before, and he was lost pretty much from the moment he entered it. The sound of the birds chirping in the distance is so creepy. Ah! Oh my god, this place is so creepy! Why does Leela find peace out here? There's nothing comforting about the forest. Ugh, I feel like I've been wandering around for hours. Wait a minute. Haven't I seen a tree before? Am I just going around in circles? Oh goodness. Well, I think I'll settle down by this patch of flowers and take a quick nap. Maybe then I'll have enough energy to move along. Oh, wait a minute. Did that sound like a bear crying to you?
Yeah.
I think you're right. I'm going to follow the sound of the cries until I find him. Akila found himself standing at the edge of a clearing, staring at a small table with a set of teacups and a teapot on top. And there, sitting at the table, was the bear. Oh, what a poor little bear. Seeing the tears flow down his snout fills my heart with so much guilt and pity. I have to do something. I have to apologize for all the pain that I've caused. With that, Akila approached the table and stood stiffly by the bear. He took a moment to collect himself before saying, "I'm sorry. It's all my fault. The townspeople treated you terribly because I convinced them to hurt you. You're a wonderful bear. You've worked so hard to become a part of this kingdom. Please accept my apology and come back home. We miss you. I promise to never let you feel lonely again." The bear processed what he just heard. Akila stared at the bear, begging it to forgive him and come back home. But the bear just sat there. Akila gave a sad sigh. "I understand. Please know that if you change your mind, we'll all be here to welcome you back with open arms." He began to leave the forest. When he reached the edge of the clearing, he stopped to say one last thing. "I'll miss you. Take care, bear." Suddenly, Akila found himself being lifted off the ground. The bear had sprinted towards Akila and swept him up into a giant bear hug. Yeah. Whoa! Does this mean that you've accepted my apology and that you'll come back home? Well, thank you so much for forgiving me. From now on, I promise to be as kind and gentle as you. Now, what do you say we finish up this tea party and then head back home? As soon as Akila and the bear entered the town's place, the townspeople erupted in joy. Right, townspeople? Yay! They'd heard the news of the bear being framed and couldn't be more happy to have their bear back home. They hugged him and gave him treats. They shook his paw and greeted him enthusiastically. Everyone was happy to have their bear back home, but no one was quite as happy as Leela. "Oh, it's so good to see you again. I'm so glad to have you back." Welcome home, bear. And they all lived happily ever after.